One of the challenges that you will encounter while researching your opportunities to move abroad is related to salaries and a cost of life. What is the better deal? A position of senior finance analyst in New York with salary of annual $120,000 or same level position in Bratislava with salary of 15,000 euro? How much is worth a company car when you compare two different offers? Will annual gross salary of 65,000 euro bring you the same net value or purchasing power in Brussels and in Rome? There are several factors that need to be taken into consideration when you compare your current salary and potential salary in a new country. This is cost of living, your spending style, income tax, exchange rate, and other benefits. All those factors separately and together need to be taken into consideration when comparing compensations and considering any work-related move to another country. Let's talk a bit more about each of those factors, and after that we'll look into some real-life examples of comparison. Cost of living. There are various definitions for cost of life. In example, the average expenditure of a person or family in a given period, or price of goods and services required to maintain an average level of standard of living. For the need of our course, we'll define it as an amount of money that you need to spend to maintain the same level of living like you currently have. One of the first things that you should realize that not all costs of living change in the same way between the countries. There are three main categories that I personally distinguish: basics, luxury, and housing. Basics are costs that are related to goods and services that are in need in your life. Those in majority are impacted by a price difference between locations that mostly consists of such categories as food, media, public transportation, taxis, or childcare. Luxury. These are costs, goods and services that can be avoided if needed. They're only partially impacted by goods and services price difference. That depends on the nature of your spending, but usually for part of those, 1/3 or half, base price is the same between the countries, and any difference comes just from different goods and services taxes. That includes such categories as electronics, games, online media, or sometimes clothing. Other expense categories like entertainment or restaurants are equally impacted by price index difference like basics. What you need to know is how much more or less expensive is life in the city where you are considering to work in. There are few possible ways of researching the topic, both paid ways and free ways. Here I would like to share two of them with you, available both for free and, in my personal opinion, the most useful one. First is more formally recognized way. Is with the use of the UBS Price and Earnings Report. The price level ranking reveals relative costs of goods and services worldwide. The composition of the reference basket on the goods services represent the spending habits of the 3-person European family. The prices of 102 goods and services are weighted by monthly consumption. For example, we assume that a family in Europe consumes almost 15 kilos or 33 pounds of vegetables every month, but only buys new personal computer every 2.5 years. Price level calculations are based on the cost of basket for 122 goods and services, including rent. For this index, these reference base market prices are shown as relative to our reference city, New York City. Rent values were calculated by weighting those prices out of 3 types of housing equally. Second method is more social driven way, and it's a site called Numbeo. It is a collaborative online database which enables users to share and compare information about cost of living between countries and cities. The Numbeo website is operated by a Numbeo, which is a company registered in Serbia. The founder of Numbeo is an ex-Google software engineer. Numbeo was founded in April 2009 by Mladen Adamovic. Originally, it was a website for crowdsourced price information, but later in 2011, it started also collecting data about crime, pollution, healthcare, and traffic. There are pluses and minuses for both data sources. Personally, I think more scientific approach is used by the UBS, especially regarding more expensive cities like London and New York. Downside of UBS is that usually focuses on few major cities in the countries. If you would like to compare costs between non-major cities, like anything else than Warsaw in Poland, let's say Gdańsk or Poznań or Kraków, you will not find proper data source in UBS report. I would personally suggest to use what you find more comfortable, or even better, use both of them if you have both cities available in the sources and compare the result. Your spending style. This is a factor that is important to take into consideration. You need to have at least a rough estimation of how much you are spending on basic luxury housing and how much you are saving as a percentage of your monthly income. You need to know what adjustments to the spending level are acceptable for you. In example, if you are now saving each month 50% of salary, do you want to maintain this level or have it increased or allow for the decrease of it? There are two types of people: those who control their monthly spendings and those who do not monitor it very closely. If you already control your monthly spending, you probably have at least a rough idea of what are those levels and you can get it from your apps or Excels or notes. If until now you haven't done such control, there is some homework for you. Get an Excel or some dedicated app, your bank and credit card statement, refresh your memory, and try to do such analysis for previous 3 months. There are no right or wrong answers here. Some people spend 20% of their salary on housing, others spend 50%. Some save 40%, others save absolutely nothing. That depends on your lifestyle and your point in life. Your spending style will affect of what would be the proportion of different cost of life indexes used on your salary in the calculation. Income tax. Every country has a different income tax laws and policies that impacts on what's your actual disposable income from a salary. Differences can be very drastic from countries with none or very minimal tax, like for example Dubai or Singapore, to tax year taking half of your gross salary, in example Belgium. Level of tax is in some countries impacted by the levels of your salaries. Almost each country have some sites offering local tax calculators. Frequently they are not available in English, but using Google Translate or just your mind, you should be able to figure it out and use it for estimation of your tax levels that you can expect there. Exchange rate. If you earn and live in one country, normal exchange rate fluctuations usually don't impact you. But if you live and learn in one country and support your family or pay mortgage in the other country, you should make sure to closely track the topic of the exchange rates and make sure to be aware what are the current rates, trends, and your options to keep your international transfers as cost effective as only possible. Other benefits. When comparing employment conditions in different companies and countries, you need to take into consideration not only base salary, but also other benefits, including such as bonuses, company cars, private medical care, life insurance, and others. It is good to estimate their cash value and take it into consideration whenever making any comparisons. In example, company car does not only mean leasing rate covered by the employee, but also fuel or insurance or another checkup. In some cases, employees will additionally cover fuel cost insurance, in other they will not. On the other hand, those benefits are also subject to an income tax. And even that can be variously different between the countries. Company car of the same type and value brings a related income tax need of €40 in Poland, but in Netherlands it might be closer to €300.